Hi, this is Zinhle Mqadi, and you are tuned into the Tourism Podcast.
My name is Simphiwe, Mashexa from East London in the Eastern Cape. I've started this journey of a tourism-related platform, which we call it the Tourism Podcast, with the interest of showcasing what South Africa has to offer in terms of tourism. So that's why we started the platform to put a spotlight in the special places that we have in different destinations across the country, and the aim is to make sure that we profile them and then we also use them as a vehicle to attract tourists and also to attract your day-to-day people who want to know where to go when they're in a certain area.
Yes.
So you cannot come to Kwa-Zulu Natal, KZN, Durban, and miss coming to Umlazi and being at the majestic and the beautiful Max's lifestyle. So thank you for agreeing to have this sit down with me.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Take us back. When did this all start?
Going back, Max's Lifestyle was established in the year 2000. So we are 24 years in the making. Yeah.
So it was the dream of your old man.
Yes.
What was his thought process? Maybe he shared that with you. What was his thought process behind establishing a place like this? Because I believe it started as a butchery.
As a butchery, yes.
So what was his thought process?
Okay, I wouldn't be able to take you through exactly his thought process, but I'll just take you through how it started and how the development came about. So in the year 2000, when he bought the property, it was the butchery. At the time, it was called Max's Cash Butchery.
Okay.
And it was just a small one-room butchery that was selling to the community. So people would come here to buy meat to use in their home, braai in their home, for cooking, so it was a community butchery. And it also had a little kiosk on the side where they were selling just essentials for the community, sanitary things, bread, all those small things, sugars. So it wasn't necessarily a shisanyama. That wasn't the starting of it. So how it grew was that as the place started being known in the community, that there's this butchery and people would come and sit here, so on Sundays they would gather here after they've bought their meat, and then that's where the need, where he saw that there's a demand for people that don't want to leave once they've bought their meat. They're not in a rush to go home, so let's put a braai stand and let them have their meat here. So that's essentially how it started. And he had a friend who was working at radio on the time, and he would always shout him out and be like, I think it was on Ukhozi. He had a friend of his who was working Ukhozi, and he would always shout out before he closes his show, shout out to my friend Max Mqadi, Umlazi, and he would always give him a shout out. And at that time he was just that small butchery. And then people just started gathering, And before you know it, obviously supply and demand, and that's where he started building, where he extended and created sitting areas. And fast forward 24 years down the line, he wanted to be more than just a butchery. So every development that he has been adding, so many different varieties from what we've started, where now we're not just a shisanyama. There's so many different things happening here. There's a restaurant besides shisanyama. There's a restaurant that's open from the morning, selling breakfast, everything, already cooked food, traditional food and everything. And then there's a salon, there's a car wash, there's a conference. And then that's when we actually changed our name. After he had been developing so many things, we went from, when it started, it was Max's Cash Butchery, and now we are Max's Lifestyle Village. So we did change to Max's Lifestyle, but because he wanted this to be a one-stop shop, then we changed to Max's Lifestyle Village, because there's nothing that when you come here you can't do. You can go to the salon while you're waiting for your car to be washed. So there's so many things that you could do at one place. So that's why now we're Max's Lifestyle Village. So yeah, that is all the developments in the past 24 years. And his vision was that he wanted us to be able to cater to so many different people, So whether you are someone maybe who doesn't enjoy the nightlife of it, but you can utilize our venue for different things. Yes. And that's why we're able to cater to tourists, people who travel from all over the world, to come and see this story of a township business that started from a one room, and now this is where we are.
This is this massive business. So from that inspiring story, now he decided to let go of the reins and then leave everything to you. How is that journey or that transition in taking over such a huge brand?
It's definitely been an overwhelming transition, but I'm glad that his decision behind this was based off the fact that he realizes that he could leave anytime. And 2020 really proved that could happen. So he wanted a succession plan for this business. He wanted this business to go on when he is no longer here, because he's worked really hard to establish this business. So he wants it to be for generations to come. And so for this decision to happen while he's still alive, it's because he wants to train us, train his kids, train his staff, train the people that come here. Uguti, this is who is going to be here with you guys when I'm no longer around. And it really, although it's overwhelming, there is a great comfort that he's still here to guide us, because a lot of people, specifically black businesses, who don't think that far ahead when it comes to businesses, because they're very hands-on with their business. They don't think as far as, okay, what happens when I'm not around? Who's going to carry this on? And sometimes the business ends, So he didn't want that, because he felt like he's really left a mark for this community, for Umlazi, for Durban. He's done some amazing work, and he wants it to carry on and be better than what he had started.
Now, one would have a question. Who is Zinhle Mqadi? we know Max's Lifestyle Village and the man himself. Now, who is Zinhle Mqadi? How does she fit in the picture?
Okay, as Zinhle Mqadi, I also really hate this question. Every time somebody asks me, who are you? I'm like, so, I am a strong woman, firstly. So, as being in business, it's hard being a woman. Those are things that we talk about in society, but it really is difficult, and no one talks about it enough, how hard it is. So I'm a strong black woman. I'm a young woman also. I'm the oldest child in 12 children from my father. I'm also a child who has grown up in a township business.
Okay.
So I've grown up here. I mean, this business, when it started, I was 8 years old, and I would come here, you know. So as much as a lot of people are seeing this story in headlines, good see, oh, so Max left this business to Inganya, okay, you know. So for some people who don't know the backstory, it's like, oh, he just gave it to Ingane. This person doesn't deserve it. You know. But just the backstory of Guti, I've been working here, so I grew up here. I grew up with the staff that's here. There's even some people when I was a kid, they were working here, and you know. So they've watched me grow in the business. And for our long loyal customers, they also know that.
They also know.
Yes, they've been seeing me here since. So I grew up here, and my father, he's always tried to involve me, you know, although it wasn't a forced decision, but you have to do this. It was up to me to accept or decline. And I've been coming here as ingane ngifunda, even though ngisesikoleni ngama weekends ngilana. First thing I learned how to do was ngishayithil kusay Max's Cash Butchery, with that small butchery ne kiosk ngangihlala la eceleni ngidayisa izinkwa ngishayithil ngama weekend. So that's the first thing I was doing, you know, as a child. And as I grew up, I would still come here. Varsity, I was here. I studied UKZN Howard College. And the decision that I took on what course I would do was also one that I knew would allow me to fit in this business. I could grow in this business with that degree, or I could even be doing my own thing. So either way, it allowed me to be flexible. So I was studying a Bachelor of Social Science, and I was majoring in Business Management and Marketing. So everything I did is everything I'm doing now. You know, your HR, your advertising, your media studies, tourism. As I was telling you earlier, I did do a module on tourism. So it literally is everything that we do, like but at the time, I don't think all those things, I really aligned them as they are now.
As they are.
You know, at the time, us being a tourist destination was not a thing like it is now. We were just a Shisanyama, a trender, making headlines. But for eThekwini to say this is a tourist destination, you know,
that was you.
Yeah. So yeah, and everything that I was studying was aligning with that. Of which, after high school, after varsity, and I got my degree, I did come and work here. I was working here, and I was shadowing the manager at the time. And I shadowed her, and I think after about a year or two, I had started a business of my own. So I had a business of my own, and I was working here at the same time. So my father at the time, he didn't like the idea of me doing too many things at the same time, because they both weren't going to succeed at the same time. Yeah. So I can't start a business while I'm doing something else, because he said, if you want to start a business, I'd rather you leave this business so that you can go and see if what you want to do and this business you want to start, if you give it 100%, because I don't want Uguti Wenzindo while you are working here and feel like it's failing because we're holding you hostage the site, you know. So he didn't want me to have that feeling, of which we came to an agreement. Uguti, you go and start your business, we'll support you, you give it your all, and we'll see how that works for you, you know. Of which I had a boutique in Musgrave Center. It was a very trendy boutique, women's clothing and handbags, and it was amazing. And then fast forward, it was open for 3 years. So after 3 years, I decided, Uguti, I wanted to be full-time this side.
Okay.
Although, because the shop was doing well on its own, I did want to be in this business. And I wanted to be a part of the growth that was happening here. Yes. Of which, once I was immersed in this business, I had no time to do anything else. Of which is the actual thing that's going on now. I'm 100% living this business. I have no time to do anything else, you know. So yeah, that's my journey with this business. And I think with the transition, me being here for so long and watching this business grow, it really helped with the transition. It's okay, let's bring you from manager to this position. It also helped with the staff, how they receive me, because they've known me for so long. So it's a familiar face. With our customers, they've known me so long. All the people we work with, they already are. We are all in groove together. We are all working. So we groove here to sevens and our motion. Yes. So it was in that term an easy transition in that way. Yes. A lot of people got to be very happy. And India by Chablisa was that this is a black story. Although other races do this all the time, this is not a new thing in society. It's not a new thing to pass down a business to your child for the next generation. This is things that everybody does. However, for this, to give it so much mileage, the story was because this is a black story that they've seen happen right in front of their eyes. And it motivated them because in our community as black people, we don't often do that. We don't often think that far ahead, you know. And we don't also give women a chance. So that was one thing that was very shocking to a lot of people, because you always assume that people pass on their businesses to their sons. Yes. So for this story, it was shocking that he's passing it on and he's still alive, but he's passing it on to his girl child, you know. So that alone just made it trending news. But for the most part, I think a lot of people, it made them realize, Uguti, hey, we actually have the same dynamic in our family. We also have daughters. They can actually do this. You know, if Max, as a businessman who's been here for 24 years, can do intenjalo, why not sing again Sinati? So I think it was inspiring, because Nabobayabonsi, this is a story we've watched, and for it to reach this point in history to be passed on, and the Saibogi Enzega, you know, so a lot of people were feeling inspired, although some people were feeling a little wary about it. She is a young girl, and they weren't really sure how it might work out, because if you think about our business, the industry we're in is associated as a male dominated industry. Yes. You know, and I have this conversation with friends, with other friends that I have who are in the same industry, who are males. And I have this conversation all the time where I don't think people realize, Uguti, for me, it's so different, and for them, between me and them, we might have establishments that are the same, but how I act in my establishment can never be the same as theirs. It can never be the same. Like simple things as, like here, customers, when they see me, they're so happy. I interact with all of them. Some of them will be like, let's have shots. I can't be drinking on the job, because the perspective of the woman in the workplace and how people will respect you in certain situations plays a huge role. But it's things that people don't actually think about, where I have friends who own similar businesses, restaurants, but they drink with their customers. They drink with people, like, because they want to be a part of the ambience to show the customers, you know, and no one would say, but if I was to drink here at work, be seen drinking at work, it would be headline of This is exactly why. Why would you give your girl child the business? Because you know. So for me, there's so many things that I always have to think about in how I act in front of people, because how people perceive me is different to how they look at males in the industry.
It makes sense.
You know.
It makes sense.
So I think a lot of people now, well, they were wary because there's the dynamics of a girl are different than umfana in the space, especially in the township space, you know. So regarding abantu ama authorities or anyone, I only know people who are very encouraged and were encouraging me. Good, you know, we're so happy to see this. When they come here, they're also like, yo, you're actually doing a great job. And they encourage me because they know I'm learning. And they all know, this is a learning point. For this to happen, Esakona means that this is my time to learn while he's here.
Exactly.
You know, so I think a lot of people, honestly, I don't think... I haven't had anyone voice out towards me or anything, any negativity directly. Although some people did feel good, they were a bit scared for me in the township as a young girl and all these things. But, you know, I always feel a sense of assurance because my father's hard work has made this business respectable. It's made it secure, not only for us as ingane sebenza like, but for customers, for the community, everyone who comes here knows that they are safe if they come here, you know. So as much as some people did have those statements prior, oh, she's so young, and is it safe for her and things like that, I do feel assured working in the space. And Nati, we make sure security yetu is top notch because now we're not only operating at a community level, we're operating at an international level because we've been placed at that level. So the security level needs to match so yeah, and I think the authorities around also, I really appreciate Ugutinabo by hlonipha le ndawo and what it's done for the community and visibility esuke khona around, not only for here MX's lifestyle,
but for the area,
the area, because they understand what this business has brought into Umlazi, you know.
Talking about what this business has brought to Umlazi, to be specific, how many people are working here, and how many are directly from the community?
I think we have about 150, 180 staff members, and that is permanent and casual staff. So the casual staff is people that work weekends because that's our busy times. When we have big events, those are the casual people that we bring in, and all the staff members are in this vicinity.
All of them?
Yeah.
100%?
100%. Everybody who works here is from Umlazi. And that's the only way, you know, because that's how we also contribute to the community. We also understand the demand that we have, so everyone needs to be close proximity to us. And yeah, so yeah, that's the amount of people that we have on the premise. You know, even small things like the people who clean the streets, because we obviously know we can't always wait for government to do things. So we'll hire people ourselves who are from the community to start sweeping the road from all the way there, not our property only. The whole street needs to be clean, because the moment uchigero potini, that's already,
because that's your access.
Yes, that's the access. So from there, you already need to start seeing the difference. You know, so those are people that we have to hire ourselves to make sure Uguti the area is clean, yonke and even just community now. I don't think we never experience any problems from the community. I think Nabo, they really appreciate this business. They appreciate the story of somebody, Abamazi, since Mqadi yakha into izamela, to seeing ukuthi this place is making headlines, you know. So by appreciate her and by abona the developments, the pavements that are being brought into the streets because there's this building.
Because of this building.
Yes. So it's all the small changes that are happening over the years to the community because there is now a tourist destination. So a lot of things change in the area.
So from here, where to for Max's lifestyle village? Where to from here?
So from here, a lot of people always ask us, Uguti, are we ever gonna please start a Max's wherever? Unfortunately, we don't see that happening anytime where we branch out anywhere. Because this business alone needs like our full attention. And it's a different story. This business works because it's in the township.
Exactly.
So we'd never take this ifake. It wouldn't work,
The same way.
It wouldn't work the same way because, the township gives you a different type of freedom that it's a different experience all in all. So we can't create this experience
somewhere else.
Yes, in the urban space. Like it's not the same vibe anymore. So that's why as a tourist, when you experience Onkelenda, you go to Mhlanga, you go Palito, uye city center, uye Lwandle, you go to the township. All these are different experiences. So a Max's lifestyle is perfect in the township because environment here is unique to East Township.
Exactly.
To where it is. So this cannot work La Payan in the urban space.
No.
It's not giving the same experience. But for us, we're always looking at how we can add value to Max's lifestyle as it is.
Yes.
Because we want to grow. We want to Joba City, we're a one-stop shop. There's nothing that we want to
except one thing. Except one thing.
Except which thing?
Except one thing. That's why I was asking, what are the plans? Where to from now?
Yeah.
Because the only thing that I can see missing here, and I'm 100% sure that it's at the back of your mind.
What is that?
Accommodation.
Okay, the accommodation chat, it was discussed years ago. Maybe you missed those headlines. My dad had always been speaking about him wanting. It wasn't our plans. Yes. So he put in his plans that he wanted to have accommodation on the site. So as the years went by, we started realizing and giving like proper thoughts to how this would work in the township. So for us, we looked at it as here, people drink, they're here for umnandi. However, we looked at it in a different way, whereas this might give us bad press some way or the other. You know what I mean? Because we don't want to wake up with, you went there, kumnandi, the stories in the morning. We didn't want people to turn this into a different thing we didn't have plans for.
Yes. No.
We realize people will ruin the plan we have for it and make it something we don't want it to be.
Now I understand.
You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Now I understand. Exactly.
So we want the accommodation, but we just had so many things we had to think about that could possibly just ruin the concept. Because for us, yes, the accommodation would be perfect because now we have a conference room.
Exactly.
And conference people want to book for a conference where they are sleeping so that it's convenient for a conference. I know Nami Mengi invited to a conference, Uguti, I want to stay in the same road across the conference center, or, because you want to minimize traveling costs, you want to minimize everything. So your conference always needs to be convenient. So it would be perfect for us because now we have a conference center. And at the time where the accommodation was our plan, we didn't have a conference center in mind. We hadn't even built it. We just wanted accommodation because in the township there is no accommodation. Although there was one, that first hotel, if you go towards W section, there was a hotel there. It's no longer working. I think now they use it for accommodation for students. Yeah. So there is no hotel here. And I mean, we don't want to turn a blind eye as if we all don't know that when it comes to a township, kune stereotype ye safety. Wherever you go, it doesn't even have to be Umlazi. Any township, kuhlezi kuzoba ne stereotype se safety. And my guess would be that's why there's so little opportunities for abantu ukuthi baqale bakhe any accommodation spaces, because they always have to think about Leo stereotype. As much as we are all working so hard to eliminate the stereotype, township ukuthi it's unsafe, ningayi, but it plays a huge role in development yama hotela in space sethu. So yeah, indaba hotela, we did move it out of our minds and decided let's abantu can go and live in the north and then they come for experience ngalana. Although we do get customers who call us, hey, we're coming for an event all white no Umlazi, and there isn't, like they always want to sleep this side, but there is nothing like that. So for now, we've added a conference here too for corporates. Now it was a way for us to break away from Uguti, we're just a Shisanyama, we're just in Dawi Bumnandi. So this decision, your conference came after COVID, because during COVID, we weren't operating because you couldn't go out for Umnandi, you couldn't go drink, all these things were non-existent in that year. So we decided, Uguti, we wanted a space, because we don't know anything can happen in the future. Exactly. So we wanted a space that would always be working. Engahlangene nokuthi kumele kuze kube nomnandi or event, but conferences, corporate work. So during the week, kube nama function enziwayo, corporates that have nothing to do with the rest of Ibiliti. And we have just extended next to a conference, there's an open space, is Yakayo. And in that space, we are creating indoor for outdoor events, whether it's corporate, whether it's personal, private functions by customers. So it's a space that we want people to create some events kuyona.
Okay.
In that environment, because we work a lot with brands, asugezo and some events like Kaya. So sometimes whatever they're trying to achieve, even to 90% of it is sheltered, it's indoors. So sometimes whatever they want to create, they can't really execute it the way they had planned, because even limiter and nati, we've made this place look beautiful. Muntu methu ufuna ukususa wonke ama-couch, no, so nathi we don't like ukuthi funeke sibe nalo ma discussions uthi okay awusakwazi ukwenza i-furniture ngendlela yakho. There is a space where you can create whatever, yes, ngendlela yakho ifisayo ibe perfect execution yayo. So and then after that space, we also have also started another business that is not on this premise, but it's still within the hospitality industry. So we are still working on that. Yeah.
So you don't want to share that?
I don't want to share that.
You don't want to share that?
But
maybe just a hint.
Just a hint. So we currently have a business in Muyago Hawig, Midlands, Ngalapo. It's a large farm, and it is a B&B. It's a 4-star B&B, and it is a restaurant. So where it is located is in the areas where there are weddings. So that's all I'm going to say.
So I see. Now I see. So the name is not yet there, but the business revolves around those elements.
Yes.
But it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense because you are already the hub.
Yeah.
You can easily divert the market to that type of a business. What is that one thing that reminds you of your father, even when he is not in this business?
In terms of, is this like a physical thing that might remind me of any situation?
Any. It can be his presence, his charisma, the way he treats people. But that one thing, like, yeah, ubaba. If I can be like that or be at that level,
Yeah.
you would feel like you are in that space?
Yeah. I think the one thing I always take away from him is his interactions with people. A lot of people genuinely love him, and this is not even people who've never met him, but people here love his presence. And I think when he built this business, he was here 24/7. So his presence, he's physically here himself, and people seeing him here is also what added to the success story. Yeah, okay. Is the interactions that he had with people, which are things that I've taken from him, where I've grown up here and I interact with people, people I don't know now, I interact with everyone. And the one thing that I loved a lot when he was still physically working, Lana, was if there was ever a time where we are busy, he will take buckets, help us wherever he can help us. He would do those things with us. And I think that's the one thing that I take from him, is every time he tells me, Guti, being a CEO, being a leader does not mean you're a boss.
It means
you are a team player. You are with your people.
Actually,
yes.
You are also an employee.
Yes, you are a team player.
Yes.
That is what a leader is. And those are things that he's shown us. He's shown us, he's here. He would help us. Nami, those are things that I've done, like Kaya, that I still do, that through the years, I've waitressed, I've cleaned tables, I've served customers. Now, if it's a busy event, I do those things because service, service delivery, I must be involved, you know. So I think those are things that I always remember from him, and I specifically love that. So those are words that he always shares. To be a leader, you must be a team player. So you must be with your staff. You must be involved with your staff. So you can't tell people what to do if you've never done it.
100%.
You don't know how to do it.
100%.
You know, so you are speaking from experience because you can do that. If Kotiwa, we have to say we have to move half of our staff, but you as the boss need to be here working as well.
Needs to be here.
If ever there's a time in the world where all of our staff cannot work, but you should be working.
You should be working.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
And those are things that I always think about when it comes to him. Yeah, definitely.
The whole business is changing now. So I can see that there's no pressure, there's no comparison between yourself and your father. There is not that pressure. There's not that pressure.
I think people still do. I think they still do in their minds because they're still adjusting. I mean, we're only in 2 years into this transition, you know, so people are still adjusting. And I mean, basamtanda, you know, basamtanda, and I think a lot of them are still watching me in this space. So it's okay. So there will still be those things. And I think I don't want to ever feel people have to respect me. I have to work for that.
To end that.
Yes, because he didn't just open a business, everyone respected him. No, you know, you have to earn certain things. I have to cement myself into this business and earn
your spot.
You definitely earn the spot. You know, you can be given a title. Anyone can be given a title, but you have to work hard for it. You know,
One other question before we close up. What does that mean for your father? Is for him, do you call this retirement? Or early, do you call this early retirement?
Yeah.
Or he's just now relaxing, not in business anymore? Or are there any other things that he's busy with?
He doesn't like to use the word retired because he's a man that likes to work. Even if you see him now, he's young, he's energetic, and he wants to stay young like that. So he wants to work. That's what keeps him going. He wants to work. So the word retired, although it's semi-retired, because he comes here like once a year just to patrol and see, okay, things are still good, you know. So physically working, no, but on the project that I spoke to you about, Ichaza Manje, he is starting that business. He is in process, Yonche Manje. So he's not sitting. No, he's not sitting. His mind is working because he's starting another business. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. I think we can safely, for now, end this year, so that when I come back here, we take over from here. We don't have to finish everything.
Yes, definitely.
But in Maui, that didn't feel like an interview.
No, it didn't. It was flowing